Tiger Woods, the scandal part 1. If you were around in 2009, you already know. You already know. Before we talk about Thanksgiving weekend 2009 for Tiger Woods, I want to talk about his childhood. I know I'm not trying to excuse any behavior, but I do think it's interesting to look at where somebody came from, because in order to fuck up like this, it's a lot of fucking up. It's a lot of fucking up. He's a Capricorn sun, Sagittarius moon, Virgo rising. I'm sorry. I also just want to say, like, I come from a golf family, a family that loves golf. I grew up watching golf. So this one is, I remember this very clearly. You know how Tiger always wore red polos when he played? So did we. that's how much we were in it. So first, let's start with Tiger Woods' dad. Tiger Woods' dad is Earl Woods. He was a Green Beret in the Vietnam War. And if you don't know what that is, please Google it. It's crazy in the worst way. It's insane. So while he wasn't on the battlefield, he was playing golf. While overseas and still married to someone else, he meets Coltita, right? So in 1975, Coltita and Earl come to California and start a life together. Earl apparently was set on having a son that would change the world, and he decided that he would change the world via golf. Earl put a golf club in Tiger's hands before he could walk. He made his first TV appearance at the age of 2 on the Mike Douglas show, and to play golf. And he missed the hole. And Tiger Woods' father said, okay, I gotta up the training. He's 2. He's like, I gotta raise the training. I'm trying to make a child prodigy here. I think when I hear stories, when I read stories about Earl, I think of Joe Jackson. You know what I mean? Like that kind of focus. So Earl was like, okay, I gotta go harder. I'm gonna take him to the Naval Golf Course for training. Because he knew people. So he set up a militant training schedule for Tiger at the age of 2. It was so intense that they would putt for 8 hours, and Earl would make sure that he could do it, like hit the middle of the hole, the right side of the hole, and the left side of the hole, 8 hours over and over and over again, a child. By 1985, the age of 10, Tiger Woods was winning every single junior tournament he entered, every single one. People who grew up around him, like neighbors, said that Tiger never had friends. And they kept saying this word over and over, every single person, bubble. He lived in a bubble. It was a bubble. Earl created this bubble. Tiger Woods scandal part 2. I'm just gonna state the obvious here, like golf is an incredibly white sport. So Tiger Woods experienced a lot of racism early on in his career, and I found this like rare interview. I did it. I found it. When he was 15, talking about it. I'm trying to frame something here, okay? Tonight on 2020 with Tefi.
People always staring at you. What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. When I go to Texas or Florida, you always feel it because they're saying, "Why are you here? I'm not supposed to be here."
Florida, you don't say. I would also like to mention that many times people who grew up around Tiger mentioned that Earl would talk about his Green Beret training and how he would apply it to Tiger's training, which is weird. In order to get Tiger to train the way that Earl wanted and do the things that Earl wanted, he would essentially hypnotize him. My mom would just bribe me with Go-Gurt. I freaking loved Go-Gurt. I still love Go-Gurt. Or the Trix yogurt. I loved it. Dairy did not love me. Anyway, there's so many quotes about Tiger saying that there are many times he played and he cannot remember. He cannot remember the tournament. He would like black out. Of course, people were like, oh, obvious hypnotism, whatever. Obviously, we'll never know for sure. What we do know is that Earl was extremely militant, that Tiger did not have a social life. He did have a girlfriend that played golf that he met at the golf course. And these are just such important years in a man's life, in anyone's life, in a person's life. And it just feels like he didn't have an identity. And I always say the scariest thing is when you meet an adult who has no idea who they are. I think facing yourself is the scariest thing, but also facing that you don't know what you like. and you don't know what you don't like. You only know what you do. Apparently Earl was not faithful to his wife. What's even worse is that he was extremely unfaithful in front of his son. So he would blatantly cheat on his wife in front of his son, which I think when I'm reading about this stuff, I think that must have been so confusing to Tiger, especially as a kid, being with somebody so regimented and like strict. I don't know if I said regimented right, whatever. But so, you know, like, you know what I mean? And then also flimsy about other things. And he looked up to his father so much. And I don't mean to speak ill of the dead. I'm just saying what I read, okay? You know, I have to clarify that. But what's also really painful is that I read so many things. Tiger Woods scandal part 3. We're still talking about his early years because I'm a good person. So we talked a little bit about how Earl was extremely unfaithful on Tiger Woods' mom, Cool Tita Woods. She's Thai. And apparently, it just kind of kills me. Everything that I read, everything that I watched, 3 words kept being used over and over and over again to describe her as a person. And it was loyal, generous, and supportive. Loyal, generous, and supportive. And Tiger Woods' then girlfriend, like teenage girlfriend, did an interview. And I'm going to read it to you. She gave her own sad story about Woods having to deal with his father's infidelity. She spoke of an incident that happened when Woods and Earl had traveled to a summer tournament. He was sobbing on the phone uncontrollably. I couldn't understand what he was saying. He was so upset. He must have been like 15. He finally caught his breath and said, "My dad's out again. He met this girl and they're going out." The sound of Tiger's voice was so upsetting. I wanted to crawl through the phone and just take care of him. I've never heard somebody in my life so upset. And his dad, I don't think, really cared that he knew it. I think that also bothered him. Like, why would you not try to hide this from me? Tiger's mom was loyal, a good mother, and he absolutely loved her. So there was an anger there with his dad, but he could never show it. He could never express it. He had to keep that in, and it changed the relationship with him and his dad. I've said it a couple times too, not to my father, just people in general. Love me enough to not let me find out. How about that? Love me enough, love me enough to not let me find out. So I think seeing that, seeing your hero and the person that you are trying to please also betray someone that you love, I think fucked him up. Am I a therapist? No, I'm a water sign. And we hear this about athletes all the time, you know, like, put whatever you're feeling aside and play to win. Shut the fuck up, put it aside, whatever's going on in your life, and be a hero and play to win. Because God forbid you lose while you're feeling something, and that means that you're not in control. And I think an athlete's entire life is proving that they are in control. You know that girl in elementary school when you roll the ball for kickball and she misses it and she falls? If you went to Sunset Elementary, you might remember me. So by the time Tiger Woods is an adult, he is an absolute icon. I have this statistic that like blows my mind every time. For 683 weeks in a row, Tiger Woods was the #1 golfer in the world. Tournaments would have to change their venues because of the large audiences that would come to see Tiger play. And my grandfather used to make me go see Tiger play when he played in El Doral in Miami, okay? And he went to go see Tiger. I went to practice the golf clap. I was really good at it. I'll show you. Oh my God, I felt alive. But he was incredible to watch. Tiger Woods scandal part 4. This is gonna be a long one. I feel it in my bones. And I'm gonna finish it tonight because I'm scared of you guys. Also, you'll notice that he's wearing like Nike everything. When Tiger Woods signed his deal with Nike, it was the biggest sports brandership. I work in this sports ambassadorship in history. When I tell you he was a fucking icon, he was a fucking icon. He was the face of golf and he was making golf cool. He was a superstar. He was a superstar, but I want to say that his like brand wasn't like flashy or anything. It was like wholesome and like extremely focused. Like, you know how Kobe was, I hate saying that in past tense. Kobe, if you were sleeping, like Kobe was at the gym practicing, it was like the same level of like commitment about him, that he was like golf was his life. But what we didn't know, somehow, some way, is that Tiger Woods was a frequent visitor at many, how do you say, gentlemen's booby bars. Does that mean, I don't know. I think it's just a gentleman's club. I don't know. Should I keep this in here? Well, you know what? Whatever. And he began a relationship with a dancer called Jocelyn that lasted 3 years. He was flying this woman for 3 years. He was flying this woman to tournaments, to stay at hotels with him. Very ballsy stuff, you know? She ended up getting pregnant by him twice. And one, you know, she lost it. And the second, you know, they took it into their own hands. I'm trying to talk in keywords, but I feel like we understand each other. Yes? Does it look like... Is it standing in front of Tiger? Hello? I sincerely have no idea how we did not find out. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about what I do know about how we didn't find out. You'll see. You'll see in a little bit. But I have no idea how we didn't find out because he was one of the most famous people in the world. He was so famous and he was photographed everywhere. And he was extremely private, so people wanted to know as much as they could about him. His yacht was named Privacy. Like, but I also think as, like, we loved him so much, like, the public loved him so much that, like, we didn't want to see it. Does that make sense? Like, we were kind of blind to it because we loved him, at least in my house. On Granada Boulevard, we loved that man. But apparently he was out here. Do you know that he was at besties with Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley, and they would go to Las Vegas together all the time, and they had a nickname for their friend group that I'll tell you in the next series? I mean, Tiger Woods part 5. Yeah, I can't believe we're already on part 5. Maybe I do talk a lot. maybe I should get to the point. Oh, well. Did you know that Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and Tiger Woods were like besties? They'd go to Vegas all the time, and they had a nickname for their group. They would call each other the brothers, which is so funny to me. But if I was Michael Jordan, I would say we should call each other the Space Fam. Like the documentary Space Jam. That's good, right? That's good. In Vegas, they had a code name for them. When they'd come in, they call them the whales because they were big fish and they were going to spend a lot of money. And it means that they got whatever they wanted. And when I mean whatever they wanted, I was reading on the blogs that they would get party girls. I don't know. That sounded so gross. It would get ladies to join them that were $10,000 an hour. And I'm over here, when I meet up with people, I'm like, let me get you dinner. Am I stupid? By big fish, I mean super high rollers. I just looked out of my notes. They were big fish. So eventually Tiger's camp was like, we need to switch marketing. Like, we need to get him to be like more of a family man. So they started getting him these like adverts for Buick, you know, like family cars, like SUVs and stuff. And they were like, it's time for you, you know, to settle down. He was easily the most eligible bachelor in the United States. Like, I remember I was like 13 and I'm like, Tiger Woods is single. So then he met Elin. Okay, so Elin was hired as a full-time nanny to another golfer. And yes, she was a model, but I hate when people show that same stupid photo of her on the rocks in the bikini because they're like, Swedish model. Her family's like in politics in Sweden. She comes from like a great, like, people are like, oh yeah, lucky model. Like, also I will say when she met Tiger, she did not want to, she was like, no, like, oh, she did not like him. And he grew on her, okay? Because apparently every pro golfer on the block was trying to woo her because she was so smart, okay? She's also incredibly calm, and we're gonna go over that. Like, I respect the shit out of her because I would be in jail. Clink, clink. So she was a nanny for Jesper Parnevik, Swedish pro golfer, and his wife introduced her to Tiger, okay? So they met in like 2003, and they were married in 2004 in the Bahamas on a golf course, I think, like Sandals Resort, at the 19th hole. I will never forget that. I thought as a teenager that was so romantic. It was Barbados. Excuse me. I am so sorry. Let's get into the scandal and how a girl who worked the cashier at a diner almost ruined Tiger's life. Yeah, let's do it. Yes. Is that dorky? you just see me like this? Like recording. This is a very serious operation here at the news station, okay? I have a TV, I have an Amazon ring light that is on its last leg. This shit hits me in the head all the fucking time. And my iPhone. And her. And it's just the five of us. Part 6, Tiger Woods and Mindy. So Mindy was a cashier at a diner, okay? And Tiger Woods and a few of his buddies. I can't believe he had friends. When I tell you that I thought this man was like Mr. Rogers, and he was not. He goes to this diner with his friends, gets some pancakes, and he's checking out this cashier girl, and he later calls the diner, start talking to her, and they start hooking up. The first time they hooked up, it was in his house. It was in his house. In his den. Yeah, it was a den, all right. Apparently, on a regular basis, he would pick her up from the diner, go to the den, and then to CVS to knock at Plan A. Oh, I didn't pause it. Okay, so listen to this. So one time they're in his Escalade and they go to some like location not too far away from his house in like some parking lot by a park or something, whatever. Teen vibes. Right? No? Me neither. Anyway, so she's like, oh, I have my period. I don't know what I was going to say. I have my period. And he's like, that's fine. Let's do it outside of the car. There are points in the story where I'm like, the way that this is self-sabotage, also just like regular people, no NDA in sight. Ashton Kutcher could never, if you know, you know. But he's like, fine, let's do it outside of the car. And he takes out her tampon. I don't know why I did this. Oh my God. And they start having sex. And she's like, I see a car yonder, you know? And he's like, don't worry about it. It's nobody. As if he's not like worth millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. And they continue to have sexy time or whatever. Turns out it was the National Enquirer. And the photo was so bad that even like by the National Enquirer's standards, they were like, this is unusable, but whatever. So now they know that Tiger Woods is cheating, okay? So then Mindy tells her mom, I'm sleeping with Tiger Woods. And she was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I'm sleeping with Tiger Woods. And apparently Mindy's mom was like, I don't even want money for this, but I know he's a scumbag. I know he's a scumbag, and I'm tired of him leading on girls this way and using women this way. So I'm going to tell the National Enquirer. The mom, Mindy's mother, calls the National Enquirer and says, my daughter has been sleeping with Tiger Woods and I can prove it because if you go here, you'll find a tampon on the floor. And they went and they got the tampon and they put it in a Ziploc bag and they called Tiger Woods' team and says, we have proof. And if you don't get on the cover of Men's Fitness, our sister publication, we're going to release the story. So guess what? He wouldn't get caught again for 2 years, 2.5 years. Part 7, Tiger Woods. Okay, so he goes unscathed, right? Because of the men's fitness cover. And he gave like some like little puff piece about like being an athlete or whatever. And who cares? Anyway, it was all fake. Thanksgiving weekend, 2009. Tiger Woods' mother is visiting. And his wife is like, let me go to the supermarket. Hopefully it was a Publix. I would love for something iconic like this to happen at a Publix. And well, shopping there is a pleasure. And she sees a National Enquirer front page reading Tiger Woods cheating scandal. And inside is an interview with this woman, Rachel, who lives in some small town named New York City, Gotham, if you will. I just want you to also imagine like working at the supermarket that day and seeing her and seeing the National Enquirer covers like this, like your total is so she was a club hostess, promoter. She worked nightlife or whatever, but she had details about her months long affair with Tiger Woods. And she had been photographed outside of the same hotels that he was staying at for many, many months. Most recently during the Australian Masters. One of her friends gave an interview, okay? And it said, Rachel told me, it's Tiger Woods, and I don't even care. We're in love. Rachel. So then Tiger Woods' wife gets home and beats, just kidding. She doesn't say anything for 2 days. Nothing. Didn't ask, didn't mention. Maybe it's because it was Thanksgiving weekend. You know, she's a mom. His mom is there, and she was wanting any witnesses when she, no, I'm just kidding. She was just cold. Not like cold. I mean, like she was like zipped, you know. But apparently, she goes back and gets the magazine and reads the whole thing. And the details in there freak her out because apparently there was a nickname, like a pet name that Rachel called him, Bear, which was allegedly the same one that she used on him. Doesn't matter. And she said that they met 4 months after the birth of their last child. Like Rachel met Tiger 4 months after the birth of her last birthing child, whatever, of their last kid. So Tiger Woods apparently is an insomniac. So the next day, Tiger Woods is like, I'm gonna go to Sleepy's, and leaves his phone on the kitchen counter because men. Because men. And she suspects something already, so she goes through his phone. Part 8. I'm like whispering as if Tiger's here. So, part 8. Okay, so where did we leave off? Yes. Okay, so the next day, Tiger is gonna go practice, and he leaves his phone on the kitchen counter because men are ridiculous. Because men. The self-sabotage, you know what I mean? Leaves his phone, okay? And since his wife is already suspicious, she goes through it, and she sees a recent text from a woman named Jamie Grubbs, okay? So she does what anybody would do, and she calls Jamie, goes straight to voicemail. And this is my impersonation of Jamie Grubbs seeing that phone call. Okay, because apparently they were in the women that he was being extra friendly with were instructed to not answer unless it was a certain time. Okay? Or he would like text first too. Anyway, she gets a call at middle of the day without warning. And this is what I think Jamie looked like. I'm gonna show you. Hold on, let me get my other phone. 1 second. Action. End scene. That was good, right? Okay, anyway. So his wife leaves a voicemail saying, I know that you've been fucking my man. She probably didn't say man, she probably said husband because she's a very classy lady. But Jamie Grubbs was fucking her man. And she hangs up and she puts the phone right back. Tiger comes home and she doesn't mention anything. She never mentions it. Tiger looks at his phone and he sees, oh my God, somebody called Jamie, and there's only one other person here that can do that because my other children are babies. And Jamie later on gave the voicemail to the media, so we have it. Do you want to hear it? Of course you do. Let me move my ring light closer to my television. Okay, the quality is terrible. It must have been like recorded. It must have been like an iPhone -400, okay? So I'm gonna pretend to be Tiger. Hey, it's me, Tiger. I need you to do me a huge favor. Can you please take your name off your phone? I don't know what he meant by that. My wife went through my phone and may be calling you. If you can, please take your name off that, and what do you call it? Just have it as a number on the voicemail. Just have it as your telephone number. Oh, I think I know what he's talking about. Like no caller, like maybe it says like maybe Jamie Grubbs. I don't know. This is what, 2009? Yeah, I don't know. On the voicemail, just have it as your telephone number. That's it, okay? You got to do this for me. Huge, quickly. All right, bye. Sorry, huge, quickly. All right, bye. Acting. Okay, so Thanksgiving night. They have Thanksgiving. Part 9, Tiger Woods scandal. Can we just have a moment for this outfit? Absolutely, yes. Anyway, so it's Thanksgiving, okay? Tiger Woods is an insomniac. So when it's time to go to sleepies, I can't believe that he couldn't sleep after Thanksgiving. The L-tryptophan in that turkey, I'm out like a light. Like a light. So he takes an Ambien, okay? He's like, good night, good night. Narrator, it was not a good night. While he's sleeping, his wife goes to the nightstand and grabs his phone and searches for Rachel. And there is no Rachel to be found, just kidding. She sees the last text conversation between Rachel and Tiger just earlier that evening. And her husband told this woman, and I quote, "You are the only one I have ever loved." Que clase de come mierda. It's 1 a.m. And this woman, who described by many people, is cool, calm, collected, never freaks out, never yells. She starts texting Rachel, pretending to be Tiger, pretending to be her husband. I gotta say, ladies, if you've been there, you know, when you catch your man talking to other bitches on the phone, and you see what they're saying, and you're like, fuck, this guy has zero game. Oh my God. Or when they go unanswered, and you're like, why would he say that to her? So she texts Rachel saying, "I miss you. When are we gonna see each other again?" Rachel replies within like the same minute, "Tiger? Question mark, question mark? You're up late, devil emoji. Que falta de respeto." As soon as Rachel answers, his wife goes, "I knew it was you. I fucking know everything. I fucking know everything." Allegedly, all Rachel said was, "Oh fuck," and hung up. What else is she supposed to say? I don't know, sorry? No. Oh fuck, hung up. Well, they're in love, guys. They're in love. His wife, no longer cool, no longer collected, no longer calm, starts screaming, "Wake the fuck up, wake the fuck up." Tiger just took an Ambien, right? So he's like woozy, he's like, huh? And she's like, "Get the fuck up, I know everything." And he's like this, huh? Do you see this physical acting? Oscar, okay? Tiger, woozy, sees her screaming, is like, oh my God, grabs his phone and runs to the bathroom and locks the door like the big brave man. Part 10? Is this part 10? Okay. Anyway, so Tiger's in the bathroom and he's texting Rachel. He's like, oh my God, my wife saw everything. This is really bad. This is really bad. I think I'm getting a divorce. Oh my God. And then he comes out. She's standing there, grabs his phone. He's like, I'm guessing. I'm guessing. He's like, and she sees the last text that he sent her. And he says, "I'm getting a divorce." And she goes, bananas, bananas. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. She takes his phone and she throws it at Tiger and chips his tooth. I just want to say really quickly before you're like, oh, she's like glamorizing TV. Not at all. I'm just telling you what happened. It's horrifying also thinking about how their children are in this house. And at this point, neighbors can hear them. They have a huge house. So I cannot even imagine what it sounded like inside the house. So they get into a physical altercation and she's scratching him and punching him. And she's scratching him all over the chest and punching him in the face. She must have had, it's for someone who friends call cool as a cucumber. This sounds like a break. Like, this sounds to me as though, you know, she had been holding it in for so many days. I've never blacked out from rage, maybe once or twice. No, that was a different blackout. That was a different blackout. Anyway, she grabs the nearest object and it's a golf club. Predictable. So she has the driver. That's a golf club. Not like the person. She didn't like get the driver. She got a driver, right? And she's chasing him, trying to hit him with the driver, and he's running out the door barefoot. And the neighbors are watching. But this is what gets me. Allegedly, the neighbors heard Tiger Woods scream, "You've ruined Thanksgiving. Are you happy now?" In a way she did, but in a way it was. So this is 2 a.m. And he, on Ambien, gets into his Escalade and drives off, and she follows him on a golf cart. Since he's like all woozy and shit and panicked and beat up and bloodied up, he peels off at 30 miles per hour, runs over their hedges, over the curb, and into a tree. I feel like everyone around the world saw this photo. So apparently he gets out of the car, walks to the middle of the street, and collapses. And allegedly, He's also snoring. The neighbors run out, and there's his wife holding the club in her pajamas, just standing there. And she starts smashing out the windows to the Escalade. Bah, bah. Tiger Woods, part 11, okay? So, windows banged out, and all of a sudden, his wife turns, and the neighbors are there, and she says, help us. So police arrive, okay? And by this time, somebody's gotten Tiger a pillow and a blanket, and his mouth is like pooling blood, and he's been unconscious for 6 minutes. Police, when they look at his wife, apparently she's frantic. Of course. I feel like she had like a psychotic break. Like, not justifying it at all. She should have. So many other routes could have been taken. Perhaps using our mouths across one another on a lazy boy. The police, while waiting for the ambulance, are trying to talk to Tiger, and he was just like mumbling. So they're like, oh fuck, this is bad. This is really bad. And his wife looks at the police and is like, Tiger was just in a car accident. I can like feel like, well, and she was like, I heard the crash when I was home. I feel like also she's not trying to just like stick up, like try to cover for Tiger, but with covering for Tiger, she's covering for her life. She's like her livelihood. You know what I mean? Her husband's livelihood, all of the brand deals, her children, you know what I mean? His family, her family, like embarrassment, humiliation. Like, who wants to say, like, I caught him cheating, so I chased him out and beat the shit out of him with a golf club? Like, you know, who wants that? And why? Well, he's texting Jamie and Rachel. Little does she know. Ugh. So she's like, I heard a car slam, and I realized it was Tiger. So I came out with the golf club to smash the windows, to drag him out, to make sure he was okay. Something that personally kills me is that the police were like, no. And then the ambulance came, and his wife tried to like get into the ambulance, and they were like, oh, I've disappeared. They're like, no, you can't get in. And she was like, she knew it was done. So in the police report, they put possible DV, and the EMTs categorized his injuries as serious, critical condition, seriously in critical condition. Those words mean the same thing, huh? All right. Next day, Tiger goes home. What day was that? So like a week later, a few days later, recent days later, the police show up at the house and like, we want to talk to Tiger. Because hello, to report a DV, they have to talk to Tiger. Did I trigger warning DV? I'm sorry, I forgot. So they show up, and his wife opens the door, and they're like, can we talk to Tiger? And she's like, let me go get him. And she goes upstairs, in a few minutes comes downstairs. She called the lawyers. She says, he's sleeping, and come back tomorrow. Next day, okay, part 11. So the lawyer calls the police before they're gonna come back and says, like, the couple's not gonna be cooperating or giving you any quotes, so give it up. And the police are like, what the fuck? So they asked for a subpoena to get his toxicology report from that night. And the judge denies it. Huge Tiger fan. So the most the police could do is give Tiger Woods a ticket for reckless driving for $164. Do you know what they would have done to me? Clink, clink. Are you kidding? Obviously it hits the news the next day. I feel like I can remember. Hi, hello, and tonight, golf superstar hero man, Tiger Woods. Car accident. So then Tiger Woods, once it hit the news, because the news started saying, hey, he was in this accident, but rumors are swirling that it was his wife that caught him cheating. That his wife took the driver and knocked the windows out of the car because of multiple women. So Tiger's like, fuck, let me blog for a second, and releases a statement on his website. Because that's usually how, in the past, like celebrities would release like their statements. They'd be like, hey guys, first of all, thank you for all your support, like on the fan website. This situation is my fault, and it's obviously embarrassing to my family and me. I'm human, I'm not perfect. I will certainly make sure that doesn't happen again. And we ask that this remains a private matter. Psych. So for the first time ever in Tiger Woods history, he withdraws from a tournament. Withdrew from a tournament, citing his injuries. And he says this: I am certain it will be an outstanding event, and I'm very sorry that I can't be there. And that he will not compete again until the next year. This is November 30th, 2009. His neighbors start talking. Hello, Florida gated community? Please. Please. You think page 6 is okay. So they start talking to everybody, and they're like, his wife was the one who beat the shit out of him. And then his attorney responds and says, none of his injuries look like he was beat up by his wife. Then US Weekly, it's not US Weekly. We've been through this. Tefi, Us Weekly, gets a hold of Jamie Grubbs. Okay, so this is Jamie Grubbs, and I'm just showing this because Jamie Grubbs, top 10 mistresses, there's ratings. So listen to this. Los Angeles cocktail waitress claims she has a 31 month long affair. Why would they say that? Why would they make me do math? It's like when mom's like, he's 31 months old. Whatever. 300 text messages. 300. Part 13, Tiger Woods. I'm really in this right now. Okay. So listen to this. Okay. The woman, Jamie Grubbs, says she has proof in 300 text messages that claims she first met Mr. Woods the week after the 2007 Masters, 2 months before his wife gave birth to their first child. I am unbiased. I am kind. I'm leading with love. I am unbiased. I'm kind. I'm leading with love. I don't feel hatred in my heart. This was a long time ago. People have moved on and are in a better place. I am unbiased. I am kind. And the magazine releases the voicemail that I read to you. Should I play you his voice? Well, it sounds horrible. He's so scared. He's like, hi. Hi, it's me, Tiger. 3 hours later. Tiger gets back on the blog and he says, I have not been true to my oh my God, I didn't read this all the way. I have not been true to my values and the behavior my family deserves. You think? I am not without faults, and I am far short of perfect. I am dealing with my behavior and my personal failings behind closed doors with my family and in the front lawn. That wasn't funny. Those feelings should be shared by us alone. Don't you wish? But I'm going to say that. No, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it for later. So then Rachel, remember Rachel, the nightclub promoter lady, whatever, in New York City, she hires Gloria Allred to be her lawyer, and she's going to have a press conference, okay? And if you watch the news and you're in pop culture, you know that Gloria Allred is no games, just sports. And she makes men shaking their little booties. I'm shaking my knees, so you can imagine me shaking my little knees, so my feet are in the booties shaking. An hour before the press conference, it's called off. I wonder why. What could it be? What? Do you think she got sleepies? She said, never mind. And the brand deal, let me change this photo. And the brand deals start dropping like leaves in autumn, okay? Gatorade had just come out with a drink, like a little collab with Tiger. And they're like, we can't do it. Gatorade had just come out with a collab with Tiger, and they're like, we're discontinuing our drink. But this happened like way before we found out this happened. And then rumors start swirling that he paid Rachel $10 million to cancel the press conference. I just want to say, from the time that the National Enquirer found the Tampi to when, like, Thanksgiving weekend, he made $300 million. So $10 million to him was like a dime. Part 14, Tiger Woods. The worst mistake Tiger Woods made throughout this whole thing is pay that woman $10 million. Because once those rumors got out that he paid her off, the other women said, what? Women start coming out of the woodwork. And I don't know if you remember, but there was a Facebook group, hundreds of women talking about stories where either they or someone they knew slept with Tiger Woods, okay? All these women start coming out. And all said, this is the part that really is really gross to me, that Tiger told them all, either you're the only one or I've never done this before, so we don't have to use protection. Jocelyn from like part in the past comes out and she was like, yeah, we were together for 3 years and I had a miscarriage and I also, and she has 2 tattoos in remembrance of, you know, the children that she could have had, okay? And they come out with all of these details, okay? Like how, I don't know if I can say that on TikTok. He doesn't like it gentle. He likes to communicate during. One mistress came out and said, I can't believe he gave a woman $10 million. We were together for so long and we only met in his car and then he would get me a Subway sandwich. During this, Tiger Woods is completely silent. Oh, it was Mindy. It was Mindy that he only got a Subway sandwich for. And the freaking, where they got caught was in a church parking lot. Well, he's Buddhist, whatever. Then Holly Sampson, who is like on a video star, you know, I'm trying, please, comes out and says, I actually slept with Tiger the night of his bachelor party. She promoted this video. She was going to talk all about Tiger and she's like naked the whole time. And she's talking about like, you know, I met Tiger and I quote, I met him the night of his bachelor party and it was amazing. And he picked me to go to his room. He picked me. I always say, you know, like, she's single. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. You know what I mean? But you, she owes no loyalty, but you. Okay, part 15, Tiger. So, quick pause, okay? I found some screenshots of the text and I just like, they are so gross. Like they're so gross, but I found something I could read. Okay, ready? Jamie, I drove out for the night to surprise a friend with a present for their birthday. What kind of present? Your naked body? Sick. Smooth. Haha, no, a watch. I slept alone. Alone with him, that is. Oh, you're gonna shower without me? Vibes. Okay. Hello? 1 second, please. I have fun with you. You always make me smile, and I'm not afraid to be myself or say anything to you. The day I met you, I thought you were going to kick me out a few times, but for some reason, you didn't. Okay. You have told me numerous times I talk too much. Same. You've told me numerous times I talk too much. But slowly as I get to know you, I'll think you're absolutely amazing. Tiger, you are wrong. I'm Bone Thugs in Harmony. Tiger, when was the last time you got laid? If we hang out on a Sunday, we can watch Desperate Housewives again. Haha. Tiger, oh God. Take a break from watching boring old golf. I mean, haha, the amazing sport of golf. 1 hour later. Babe, I was just kidding. Tiger, I know, sexy. Tiger, slap your face. Treat you like a dirty little... I can't read these. I'm going to tell you to STF you while I... And pull your... Where do you want to be bitten? December 11th, 2009. So this has all happened from the 30th to 11th. Okay. Tiger Woods releases a statement on his official website saying he is taking indefinite leave from golf to work on saving his marriage. After much soul searching, I have decided to take an indefinite break from professional golf. I need to focus my attention on being a better husband, father, and person. And then Gillette drops him. Watches drop him. Everybody drops him. What's funny to me is that same year, on December 16th, Tiger Woods is selected as Athlete of the Decade by member editors of the Associated Press, receiving the nod in 56 out of the 142 votes cast over the previous month. Okay. He's also voted Male Player of the Year by the Golf Writers Association of America. So either they paid for that, or people who play golf don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Okay, Tiger Woods part 16. So a lot of the women that come out are dancers, right? And this one woman, Corey, she does this interview on like Good Morning America, like a morning show. And obviously the media is only getting people who are willing to talk as much as possible and give us the most details about this man who is extremely private, right? And she says, you know, Tiger, my pride for him, Tiger really is like a little kid. And after premaritals, we like to eat cereal and read comic books together. I just die. I die. Okay, on one side I die because it's like, those are like intimate things. Like, how do I explain it? Those are things that like are like intimate. Like, you know how like, I'm really stumbling here, and the trolls are gonna find this one and say, why can't she talk? Well, why can't you get a girlfriend? Anyway, so I feel like you rather catch your boyfriend like cheating on you physically than like seeing him hold someone's hand. Does that make sense? Like the level of intimacy. And on the other side, it's like, because we talked about his backstory, it's like he's stunted in some way. You know, like he's trying to be a teen. Does that make sense? And then Ambien sales go through the roof, okay? Because Rachel, the nightclub lady or whatever, God, I hope she's not on TikTok. If you are, please have some mercy. She says that her and Tiger love doing stuff on Ambien, because apparently Ambien makes you incredibly in the mood. She says like Ambien is like our number one aphrodisiac. So then all these articles come out like, why does Ambien put you in the mood so much or whatever? But I think it's like when you're in high school and you're talking to somebody and you're like, what did you do Friday night? And they're like, all my friends and I took sleep medicine and tried to stay awake. Like the thrill of it, like whatever. I've never taken it. You can tell me. Actually, do. Have you ever? Well, according to Roseanne Barr, Ambien makes you racist, remember? So while all this is happening, Tiger, and I'm sure Tiger's team was like, you gotta, goes into a rehab facility for addiction to schmeck. And while he's in there, his wife, being a genius, sees the opportunity to renegotiate her prenup, and file for divorce. But this is what gets me. Allegedly, Tiger Woods told a friend that his wife had gone ghetto on him and he needed to get the Kobe special, a diamond, to fix things. Okay, part 17, Tiger Woods. So where'd we leave off? Okay, so specifically he said he was gonna go to Zales for his wife and get the Kobe special, a house on a finger. 1, disgusting. 2, there's nothing wrong with Zales, but you're a bajillionaire. Very shady, very gross. During this time, Forbes magazine, I just think this is interesting. Forbes magazine states that Woods remains the top athlete brand with an estimated value of $82 million. Like net worth, I guess. I don't know how that works. What the fuck is a net, right? Anyway, so on February 17th, on TigerWoods.com, his favorite blog, they state that Woods will speak publicly for the first time in nearly 3 months on February 19th at, you guessed it, a golf course. And you guessed where? Florida. Tiger plans to discuss his past and his future, and he plans to apologize for his behavior. While Tiger feels that what happened is fundamentally a matter between him and his wife and all 4,200 women, I made that up, he also recognizes that he has hurt and let down a lot of people who were close to him. He also let down his fans. He wants to begin the process of making amends, and that's what he's going to discuss. Okay, so then he has this like super orchestrated press conference, right? And what kills me is that I'm sure she loves his son, and I'm sure that they told her to go, but his mom was in the front row watching him. And I cannot imagine as a mom knowing her late husband and seeing her son. I can't imagine. So he says this, right? And it's a YouTuber way, but I'm gonna read it to you regardless. I was unfaithful, I had affairs, I cheated. What I did was not acceptable. Water is wet. Wood said he and his wife have started to deal with his infidelities. Yeah, she's leaving you. She is not present at the event. Oh, she didn't go. Why would you go? I'd go to Zales. Okay. For all that I've done, I am so sorry. I have a lot to atone for, but there's one issue I really want to discuss. Some people have speculated that Elin somehow hurt or attacked me on Thanksgiving night. It hurts me that people would fabricate a story like that. And then he says, again, I have let you down and I've let down my fans. I was unfaithful. I had affairs. I cheated. Yes. We know. I will say all the while, Nike was like, that's my man, and I'm going to stand beside him. Nike was like, it's you and me, baby. Thelma and Louise, off the cliff. Okay, part 18, Tiger Woods. So, even after the press conference, people close to his wife said that she was still on the fence about divorcing Tiger, even though confirmed 120 women had slept with him, and he had 14 mistresses. And then April 2010 rolls along, and the 15th mistress comes out, and she's like, peasy, be easy, deuces to uses. You know, sometimes I start talking, I don't know where it's gonna go. I want you to guess how much she got out of the divorce settlement. Guess. I'm gonna pause. Type the comment. Type it. Guess. Ding, 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 ding. Somewhere between 110 and 120 million dollars. Go for you, baby. What you did wasn't right. But if you're gonna be exposed to that much shit, literally, health is wealth. You know what I'm talking about? He tried to do a couple tournaments after, and it was awful. You know, what's crazy is that my grandfather, this is a personal story, and if you don't like me, you can leave, okay? But my grandfather, one day, he like came home after the scandal had broken, like a week later, and he was like, we don't support Tiger Woods in this house anymore because the person that doesn't respect the person he sleeps next to is not someone that we're gonna look up to or whatever. And I mean, that was a little dramatic, but I loved it, okay? I was like, oh my God, you're amazing. But when the next tournament that he entered, I think it was like New Zealand, I can't remember, my grandfather cried. He like didn't say anything. He just watched him and cried because he knew. It was like this prodigy angel, like the game was shaken. You know what I mean? Like all that technique. He was just so nervous to be in front of people again. He didn't know how people were going to react to him, and it wasn't good. So ladies and gentlemen, days and gays. You know, actually my TikTok analytics are 98.6% women. So like to the ladies and the 4 other people that follow me. What have you learned here today? I'm not even gonna get existential on you. The regular schmegular dudes that we date working the 9 to 5 have the audacity, the gall, and the nerve to step outside of fidelity, okay? So Tiger Woods being the golden boy, knowing he can get whatever the hell he wants, and not knowing, and the idea of marriage being blurred since he was a kid, fucked up, okay? But he says him and his wife are best friends now. So maybe if you don't like him at first, you shouldn't marry him. Goodbye. I know. I was like, girl, stop talking.